In this conducting tutorial video, I'll demonstrate conducting how to do the new song from the collection hymns for home and church called Gethsemane. This is a song that's really going to stretch you as the conductor, especially if you're not musically trained. It's probably going to stretch the congregation as well, but I think it's definitely worth the effort. It is a beautiful song. It's a beautiful message for us to be thinking about. So firstly, just to take you through, if you're using the sheet music, how this is actually put together on the page. So the first bar and a bit are the introduction, and then we start with the actual song. It's in 6/8 time, so we've got a couple of the options of how to conduct it, but you are going to start on an upbeat. So there's no, so what normally happens when the introduction is played is it ends on a chord, like the end of a verse normally ends on a chord, and then you're able to kind of take your breath and then you're going to come in. So the one thing is here, it goes straight from the introduction into the song. So you need to be very confident of when to actually start so that you can bring in the people, the congregation at the right time. But with an upbeat, it does mean that you can kind of come in together and then you go into it. So anyway, then you go through the first verse, and then you have the chorus, and then you sing the second verse. After the first verse, the piano will carry on playing for kind of a bar and a half. You'll want to end off the verse, and then you can kind of put your hand down for a couple of seconds, and then you'll do the upbeat again to start the second verse. Then, if you're looking at the printed sheet music, at the top of the second page, you have something written called Dies al Coda. And so what that means is that you need to go back to where you see a little sign. It's kind of like an S with a line through it, and it's a weird sign. So that is the sign. So Dies al Coda means Del Signe al Coda. So it means go back to the sign, play until you get the sign, the mark, to show that you go to the coda, and then you're going to jump to the coda. So what you're going back to sing is the chorus again. So you're going to sing the second verse, you go back and you sing the same chorus you did for the first verse. And then at the end of the chorus, you then jump to the coda. And so what this is actually then doing is there's a bridge and then there's a final chorus. So the bridge is where it says the hardest thing that ever was done, the greatest pain that ever was known, that really moving section that we sing over there. And then we sing the final chorus, and then the final complication is you get to the end, then you have a repeat sign and you go and you sing that chorus again, and then it's a different ending for the pianist to play. So the second chorus, when you end it, you can just end the singing, but the piano will carry on a little bit longer. The other thing is that at the end of the bridge, just before you go into, where is it now? At the end of the bridge, just before you go into the last chorus, it says rit, so which means ritardando, that means slow down. Then you're going to slow down your conducting for the end of the bridge, and then you're going to have a tempo, which means you go back to the same tempo that you were doing it before. So there is a lot going on with the sheet music, and so if most of the congregation are not musically trained, strongly encourage that they just use the lyrics and they just sing through the lyrics as you're going through it. For yourself, if you can follow the music, great. Otherwise, you might also want to just use the lyrics, and if you're using a gospel library, you can mark certain words or phrases where you know you want to do, like that's your downbeat, or if you any places where you're getting confused, you can do that. Okay, so that's how the sheet music is constructed. As I mentioned, the time signature for this is 6/8, so you've got 4 different options for how to be conducting it. I think 2 of them work and 2 of them don't work, but I'll take you through that. So at 6/8, the tempo is 42 to 48 beats a minute, but that's a dotted solid note, so that's 1.5 beats. So half of the bar is 42 to 48, and then the other half is also 42 to 48. So it's suggested that you use the 2-beat pattern, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for conducting, and that does work, but I must be honest that at 42 to 48, that's very slow to be conducting. So I'll sing through the song twice. The one time I'll demonstrate the 2-beat pattern, but I do feel like it's quite slow, and it's a little bit difficult to actually probably convey to the congregation exactly how to be singing it. The other 2 of the other options are if you beat across the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 2 groups of 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Both of those I feel don't really work with this song. It's too busy. So even though you do have time to do it, because it's quite slow, I just feel like it takes away from the mood of the hymn, the mood of the song. So the one that I really like is the altered 4-beat, where you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll demonstrate that one as well. As I've conducted both ways. I really feel like the altered 4 beats, I just feel like I'm in more control, and I'm able to almost communicate more effectively which one will work. But I will do both, and then you can see which one you think works for you. But definitely one, it's going to stretch you, it's going to stretch the congregation, but I think it's so worth it because it's such a beautiful song for us to be singing. That stretch, that push, it's definitely going to be worth it. So in terms of the actual conducting, once you're into it, it's not too difficult. The main challenge is just how it's moving around in the music. There's not complicated harmonies or anything. It's written as a children's song in one part. So yeah, it's worth the challenge, but it is going to be one that does stretch you. So lots of practice, and then you can enjoy it.
Jesus climbed the hill to the garden still. His steps were heavy and slow. Love and a prayer took him there to the place only he could go. Gethsemane, Jesus loves me, so he went willingly to Gethsemane. He felt all that was sad, wicked or bad, all the pain he would ever know. While his friends were asleep, he fought to keep his promise made long ago. Gethsemane, Jesus loves me, so he went willingly to Gethsemane. The hardest thing that ever was done, the greatest pain that ever was known, the biggest battle that ever was won. This was done by Jesus. The fight was won by Jesus. Gethsemane, Jesus loves me, so he gave this gift to me in Gethsemane. Gethsemane, Jesus loves me, so he gives this gift to me in Gethsemane. Jesus climbed the hill to the garden still. His steps were heavy and slow. Love and a prayer took him there to the place only he could go. Gethsemane, Jesus loves me, so he went willingly to greatest pain that ever was known, the biggest battle